So the first match on this Fun Fest, we had 2 weeks of Fighter Fest. Now we got Fight for the Fallen. As I said, they ought to get the F out. Cody defends the television title against Sonny Kiss. We finally get to see Sonny. Sonny Kiss is in that group of people that was signed when AEW first started and has been relegated to audience on television, dark matches on YouTube, and various and other sundry low-profile places because they realized, along with the librarians and all this other horse shit, that they signed a bunch of fucking outlaw talent that has never been properly trained and is only good to look like a fucking local version of America's Got Talent. And this was an example of it. And once again, I don't care about Sonny Kiss's sexual orientation. I don't care who he's attracted to, who he dates, who he is involved with, who he marries, lives with. I don't give a fuck about that. But if he's going to act like a professional wrestler or call himself one, I'm going to point out the obvious inaccuracies in those statements. First of all, the entrance. What the fuck with the cheerleaders? Oh my God. He was a better dancer than the female cheerleaders, which I don't remember seeing Muhammad Ali dancing with the Rockettes before his third fight with Frazier. I don't see Dusty Rhodes doing a cha-cha with dancers from the Flamingo before his title match with Ric Flair. I don't see anybody in the UFC. Sometimes they have dancing girls, but they don't outdance them. How was this in any way supposed to make him intimidating as a professional fighter? What we had here was a goddamn dance routine on Dancing with the Stars, and there's a place for that. But not immediately followed up with this fucking clown in this goddamn clown outfit being competitive for 20 minutes with who's supposed to be in this company pretty much the top babyface. Also, Sonny Kiss, what is the matter with his back? His ass is 2 feet behind the rest of his body. He looks like he's doing a back bend when he's standing up straight. The fucking lipstick, the goddamn false eyelashes, and he's not even the heel. Adrian Street could get heat with false eyelashes. This guy is supposed to be the babyface. I know this because Cody, his opponent, immediately jumps him at the bell and beats the piss out of him and then does push-ups to taunt him and take him not seriously. So that means that Cody is the heel, and Cody's babyface manager is yelling at him for doing these things, and Sonny Kiss starts selling. What the fuck?
Yeah, by the way, I'm going to disagree with you on Cody being the top babyface in the company. Cody's a heel. It's been subtle, but Cody's a heel with a babyface manager. He's a heel with Arnold Skaaland. They've made Arn Anderson, one of the great heel talkers of all time, an ineffective babyface manager.
An ineffective babyface putz.
And you could tell they're teasing an eventual complete Cody turn, but go watch the last several weeks. Watch everything with Cody. Cody's a heel pretending to be a babyface for the time being, but Cody is a complete heel in my eyes.
All right, well then, at least then if he turns, then we'll know one or the other, because right now it's a fucking mystery, like everybody else in this company. Who's a heel and who's a babyface? They don't even know. And I don't care whether he's going to turn heel, or if he's going to stay a babyface, or he's going to goddamn be a fucking tweener in betweener. Who's going to buy a chorus girl in a fight with a supposed professional wrestling champion? And that's what we're expected to being presented here. And you know what? As I said, I managed Adrian Street, who actually could wrestle. But I managed Adrian Street. If Sonny Kiss was the only gimmick in this fucking program, it would probably get over. And I don't know why it wouldn't get a ton of heat, except they wouldn't want it to get heat. But you're not going to get a ton of people wishing that the chorus girl becomes a fucking champion. However, because it's only one of a multitude of gimmicks and funny costumes and people you don't know whether to cheer or boo and what the fuck, it just looks goofy. Because it all together looks goofy. So this match goes on for fucking ever. Cody was acting like Sonny Kiss was no problem, as he should. He shouldn't act like he was a physical threat until he later on in the match made him one. But now, as I said, the supposedly babyface acting like an asshole. The manager is fucking blistering him for it. The prancing Exotico is the sympathetic underdog. And then suddenly, the 5'6", 188-pounder with scoliosis on his back starts kicking the shit out of Cody and then does some cheerleading handsprings. I'm not making it. This, I said, folks, we're going to have fun with this show. I'm going to tell you what really happened, and you're going to laugh and tell me I'm lying. Sonny Kiss does some wonderful gymnastics, but his strikes and punches land with the force of a butterfly in a high wind. He does the pushing girl forearms instead of throwing punches. The Matrix shit, it was so out of whack with what Cody Rhodes, a top star in the company, ought to be doing or going along with. It looked like Cody was trying to work with Raka. So awkward. But now we know what Nadia Comaneci would look like if she had been a professional wrestler. Sonny Kiss. Sonny Kiss gave Cody his own fucking move, the Crossroads. We're still talking about an underneath fucking wrestler. Every week, underneath talent with no potential to make it as top names in this industry, in this company, or it's definitely in the WWE, regularly pushes the guys that you could buy on this program as top main event stars to their very fucking limit and then some. On the theory that these fucking stars are allegedly, I guess, so fucking egotistical that they think that they're so over that they can elevate this dreck talent by being competitive with them, and all it does is sink the star. I wrote, why is this so competitive? Does Cody really think he can make a star out of this? He gave Sonny Kiss an Alabama slam on the ramp and got a 2 count. Sonny Kiss got his foot on the ropes. And Arn is pissed at fucking Cody. It's still in this match.
And they're teasing Tully in the crowd, interested in Cody.
Yes. But the whole thing is he can't beat Sonny. And then he rolled him in after the fucking deal and got a 2 count and got the foot on the ropes. Then he gave Sonny and by the way, this is not Sonny like Sonny Tammy Sitch. It's Sonny like Sonny Bono, right? Sonny. Sonny Kiss, the fucking head first deal. What do they call it? Where he dropped him head first? And it looked like he dropped him head first over his back, whatever the fuck. He got a 2 count and a kick out of that. What are we are proving here that Cody Rhodes cannot beat a cheerleader. Then he hits the top rope superplex. And what Cody wanted was for Sonny Kiss to turn a shoulder in the nick of time. But since Sonny Kiss has never been put in this position to have a main event match against anybody who knows what he's doing, what he got was a weak slow motion lift my arm instead of the dramatic, because the fucking green fuck doesn't know what he's doing in this position. Then while Cody's arguing with the referee, he actually had to stand there and go back and watch the tape, folks. He's arguing with the referee, and Sonny Kiss is trying to fucking kind of scooch over to do something, but Cody stands there and finally has to look behind him and say, "Schoolboy me, idiot." He looks behind him, looks right at the guy laying there, and then suddenly gets schoolboyed by surprise. And then Cody Rhodes gets a crossface and can't make the cheerleader submit. And now he is straight out heeling on Sonny Kiss. And Sonny Kiss is selling. Am I lying so far about anything in this match?
No.
So then, Sonny Kiss is selling. Cody rips the turnbuckle pad off. And he's going to fucking ram Sonny Kiss into the, like, he has to resort to this now to beat a preliminary fucking underneath wrestler. I would say heel or babyface, but nobody knows which. But Sonny Kiss reverses Cody into the bare buckle, and it looked like shit. It was awkward because they tried to do some fancy shit and just a little fucking reversal. They tried to do some goddamn flippy fancy shit, and Cody missed it with his head. So it looked like shit. Now Sonny Kiss is fresh as a daisy after all this, throwing his girl wrestler forearms and shrieking at the top of his lungs. Hee, hee. Only it didn't have the same effect of scaring people shitless as it did when Terry Funk did it while he was spurting blood everywhere. And then out of nowhere, Cody hits the crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Boom. And guess what they did then, Brian?
They embraced.
They shook hands and hugged each other. God damn it. Fucking shit. They hugged each other. I'm trying to have fun with this, but this is so ridiculous. I'm not lying. Another match on another program where they beat the piss out of each other, mostly in a phony way and something that nobody can believe, but they do it. And then they hug and kiss each other.
I think one of the big problems with AEW, and I don't think it's good for the long term for the company, and I don't think it's necessarily good for the program without seeing the ratings breakdown of the segments. But the idea that everyone has to elevate everyone else so that every match is 50-50. Not necessarily 50-50 booking. I mean, there was no doubt Cody was going to go over. But Cody has to have a long competitive match with everyone he wrestles. And I believe they're trying to get that person over and show that they could exist in a competitive match. But I think it does the exact opposite. It's counterproductive.
Exactly, because you have, first of all, the reason why people get over by having a competitive long match with an established star is because it usually doesn't happen. On television, against a lesser opponent, the star usually looks dominant, or used to, and is supposed to. Because then after you establish in people's minds that that's the norm, then when the guy comes along that nobody really gives a chance to, and he takes the guy to the limit, that's what makes the underneath guy, even when he loses, because he's done something most people don't do. Cody Rhodes has been taken to the limit, so by everybody, every top guy here has been taken to the limit by every outlaw schmuck that just learned how to lace his boots last week. So as we will see later on, when we get to the real cartoon segment, well, you talk about the cheetah segment, that's coming. But that's the problem. And also the problem is some of these people think they're over and they're not. Cody has the ability to get over with a wider variety of people, but the rest of it, the Road Warrior and his brother Balding Buck, Twinkle Toes McFingerbang, they're over to such a small audience to begin with, the 500,000 to 700,000 people that'll put up with this shit every week, and even not all of them, they can't elevate anybody. They need to be gotten over. They made their cardinal mistake on this program when they started it out and assumed that the Young Bucks and Twinkle Toes were over, and have worked like that since, and that's why they're not over. Because nobody on a mainstream television basis knew who the fuck these clowns were. And they've given them no reason to want to find out. Anyway.
I will say Sonny Kiss is seemingly an extremely talented dancer. You said it earlier. He was doing better with the moves than the cheerleaders. But with that said, I'm not exactly sure what the audience is for that. Who is going to, if there were fans there, are they going to sit there and cheer Sonny Kiss doing a dance routine? Don't
you see all the young and former cheerleaders in the audience for wrestling these days that will look up to Sonny Kiss, or all the gymnasts that will look up to Sonny Kiss? No wrestlers will look up to Sonny Kiss because he's a fucking joke and an abomination as a fucking professional wrestler. Maybe with 5 years decent training somewhere from somebody that knew what the fuck they were doing, because he is a good athlete. But He's a rotten fucking wrestler. So the wrestling fans are going to have a very short attention span for that. And the people that are going to cheer for him are the people who want to be seen as cheering for a member of the LGBTQ community living his dream, whether he's out of place or not. And he's out of place in his fucking program. Well, not out of place in this program. Out of place in wrestling, but not this program.
But a very, very talented dancer. I was watching. I was like, wow.
And a wonderful cheerleader.
He's better than a
gymnast.
He was better than the cheerleaders.
Yeah,
he was better than the cheerleaders at doing those dance moves.
If he got that sway back fixed, maybe he could go far.
I don't know what you're talking about. Now I have to go back.
You go back and look. When he's standing there, his ass is 2 feet behind him. The rest of him. His
back just have a big ass.
Well, and tell me that back is not curved.
I don't know. Now I have to go back.
Well, you need to. All right, the next match. This was the one I was waiting for because I thought this will be the ultimate test.
Wait, one last thing, by the way. No promo from Cody. We haven't heard from Cody in a while since that press conference several weeks ago. People who like Cody will tell you he's one of the best promos in the business. I'm not as high on Cody as other people, but when Cody is on, Cody is a great promo. Haven't heard a peep from him in weeks. He just teased being a heel.
By the way, MJF was in the fucking audience.
Well, we can't get MJF 2 weeks in a row. That's asking too much.
But a fucking minute promo from the best talker in the company.
I agree.
Or a minute promo from, like you said, from Cody, a top star in the company, instead of these fucking endless goddamn gymnastics meets. Nobody talks. Except, well, if you're over 50, you get to talk. The announcers and the managers get to talk sometimes.